Hey everyone, it's Yugioh. Okay, this is going to be a video about noobs in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, I use the word noob pretty easily. Now, when I use it, a lot of people think I'm calling them stupid or, you know, I should say they don't know what they're doing, stuff like that. I don't usually mean that term. When I say noob, I mean that they got the general concept, but they're missing certain key aspects of the game. Now, a very good example of this is when people, I don't know, think they're in much bigger shoes than they can really fill. I'll use one of my friends as an example. One of my friends' name is Wyatt. I mess with him a lot. I joke with him, stuff like that. I call him a noob and a scrub and everything else, but it's just joking. I mean, I know he's a good player, and he knows his rulings pretty well and stuff like that. I mean, I know that, but I just play with him. And the reason I really call him a noob or a scrub is because, well, I mean, he doesn't make the best decisions all the time. Like, I'll be watching him playing, and he'll be playing, and, you know, I'll look at his hand, and I'm like, oh, dude, you got a game easy. Because the opponent has nothing, and he could easily just summon a monster and attack their game. But he'll do something random, like set a monster, or he'll summon a different monster and attack them and stuff. And I'm like, wait, why don't you just summon that and attack their game? I just don't understand it. And he does stuff like that. And, you know, I know everyone has different play styles and stuff like that, and I understand that. But a good example is a little while ago, he built a removal anti-meta deck, and he took it to regionals. He got, I think it was top 16 or top 8 or something. I think it was top 8. He got top 8 with it, and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. He took it to nationals, and he did really well at nationals. He was one win away from day 2. I mean, he didn't day 2, but he was one win away. The last game he lost, but he did really well. You know, he got close. And I was telling him, I'm like, okay, that's good. I'm glad you found a deck that works, because that's what he wants to do. He wants to top these tournaments and, you know, get the prizes and stuff like that. Well, when he got back from nationals, you know, he told me I'm switching to Blackwood. And I'm like, why? You found a deck that works. Now you need to work on it, perfect it, so you can win tournaments. He's like, no, I'm going to switch to Blackwood. I'm like, why? Why would you switch to Blackwood? He's like, well, the deck I'm playing just doesn't take enough skill. Nande Deska? What? What do you mean it doesn't take enough skill? How does that even equivalent? From my understanding, any deck you see top at a Shonen Jump or a Nationals in today's meta doesn't take skill. It takes derp with derp. You just repeat the same broken combos over and over until you win the game. Derp with derp with derp with derp with derp. From what I've seen, I mean, unless somebody wants to point me, if someone wants to prove me wrong, but everything I've seen so far, especially Aegis, biggest derp deck there is right now. It's all the same shit over and over and over. Summon the Earth, search the Venus, summon the Venus, special the Shine Ball, go into a Gachi. After that you can play Hyperion and Christian, all this other bullshit, Life of the Soldier, Chaos Soldier, out the ass until you win the game. That's all it is. Derp, 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 derp. Nothing more. So, and I asked him that, I'm like, how does it not require enough skill? Like, what do you want from a deck? And he's like, I don't know, I just want to win with a deck that requires skill. And I'm like, so you're going to use Blackwings? Now, I'm not trying to be mean, but from my experience, Blackwings take no skill. They're one of the biggest fucking derp decks there is. Summon a monster, attack, get another monster, synchro, do this shit. That's all they do. Summon, attack, get another monster, summon, attack, and, you know, shit like that. That's all they do. So I don't see how they're, like, a skillful deck. Now, I understand if you want to play a skillful deck, and if you're going to go for that, I mean, play Burn, or play God knows what. I mean, I don't know. But you can play a deck that requires skill if you want to, but really, that's really hard to come by because a lot of the decks don't require skill. They're just all derp decks. You know exactly what to do, and you just repeat the combos over and over until you win. So I was just like, well, that doesn't work. And I told him Blackwings are inconsistent. Even with 3 Icarus, they're just too inconsistent. And he was like, no. So he played some other people. He called me, and he play tested with me and stuff. And, you know, 2 weeks later, he's like, oh, you're right, they are inconsistent. Can I do it yet? I mean, seriously, it's just like, what did I just tell you? I mean, seriously. But anyway, so he's like, well, yeah, they are too inconsistent. So he goes back to his removal. About 3 days later, he texts me back. He's like, well, I'm going to change my deck. I'm like, oh my god, this again? Do we really have to go through this? How many times are you going to change it before you realize just stick with the original deck? And I said, okay, what are you changing to? He's like, I'm going to change it to heroes. Now, from my previous video about heroes, you know I'm definitely against them. Hero anti-meta is a good deck. The problem is, he finally found a deck that works. Now he doesn't want to use it. What logic does this make? If you find a deck that works, use it. If you find something broken, abuse it. That's the general logic I go by. I don't know about you. But it's just like, okay, why? He's like, well, heroes are going to require a lot more skill than what I'm running. I'm like, no, they don't. Heroes are one of the easiest decks to run there is. He's like, no, they require a lot of skill. And basically, they went into a whole argument of whether hero decks require skill or not. And honestly, they don't. They just don't. I'm sorry. Like, I guess the meta heroes might, but the anti-meta heroes is so freaking simple to run, it's not even funny. And like I said, I got into a big disagreement with him about it, but in the end, I was just like, yeah, you know, whatever. You run whatever you want to. And it just, but this is why I call people noobs or scrubs, because they won't follow out their thought process. They'll find something that works, and then they'll be like, well, I don't want to use this because it's unfair. Trust me. I wish everybody had that moral in this game. The problem is, with these kind of card games, you have to find the things that are unfair and then you use them to your maximum capacity. That's how you win. Like Gachi and Hyperion and Christian and Black Ops Soldier and Chaos Soldier. Chaos Sorcerer. Chaos Soldier. Ooh. That'd be a scary thought. Chaos Soldier. No thank you. Bad juju for 1,000 years. But anyway, so I mean, just know the word noob isn't exactly a derogatory term. It's not a bad term. It's used to describe players who don't really follow through with their thought process. And like I said, not everyone's a noob, and I know everyone has different playstyles. I've said that many times, and I'm not hating on people's playstyles, but when you ignore the completely obvious and go for the completely retarded, I'm going to call you a noob. Sorry, it's going to happen. Alright, and that's it for this video.